12 bowling lanes and the biggest pool room in Nebraska, where else would you go to enjoy an afternoon or evening? There's a great daily specials like $2 Tuesdays, games of bowling, shoe rentals, draft beers, and tacos, all just $2 each. Have a delicious burger at EJ's Lounge before or after your bowling or pool session, and you'll leave satisfied. Madsen's Bowling and Billiards at 47th and Dudley.
Ready to make this season unforgettable? Celebrate with Liberty First Credit Union's low-rate debt consolidation loan. Combine all those bills into one affordable monthly payment with quick access to funds. Imagine all the extra cash for holiday shopping sprees, festive parties, or that well-deserved vacation. Stop by any of their branches or visit libertyfirstcu.com to find out more about their low-rate debt consolidation loan. Make this holiday season one to remember and celebrate with Liberty First Credit Union, banking with purpose.
Husker fans, the Nebraska women's basketball team battles the Indiana Hoosiers on Sunday, January 7th at Pinnacle Bank Arena, and they want to see you there. Help them pack PBA as they retire Jordan Hooper's jersey, host a team reunion for the 2013 and 2014 teams, and give your Huskers a true home court advantage. For tickets, go to huskers.com/tickets or call 1-800-8-BIG-RED. Come early and get your very own replica Jordan Hooper jersey retirement banner while supplies last. Get your tickets today at huskers.com/tickets.
This year, give the gift of delicious food, incredible service, and a lasting memory with the Pillar Restaurant Group gift card. When you purchase a $50 gift card, you receive a $5 bonus card, or purchase a $100 gift card to receive a $20 bonus card. These cards can be used at all Pillar Restaurant Group locations, including Venue Restaurant and Lounge, Piedmont Bistro, The Butchery, The Bakery, and all Lincoln Good Sense Deli Fresh Subs locations. Available for purchase at any of our concepts or online at prgnebraska.com.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Broadcasting veteran Derek Pearson.
When you find something that moves that makes them smile, celebrate it. That's your task. That's your superpower.
Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score!
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
On business?
Nick stands on business. Straight up.
What up, Jay Foreman, Austin Orman, Old School, Awesome Twosome back today. We were brought to you by the Mercado Certified Piedmontese Special Ingredients and Butcher Shop, located at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill. Every type of meat and every type of cut. I don't think it reached the peak temperature today, but got close to it. Tomorrow's supposed to be beautiful, so that means the grill and all the neighborhoods in Lincoln and surrounding areas, even all the way up to the O for you people out there, they call it Omaha. Need to start firing it up. Go over there to the Mercado. I'm tripping right now because Nick was in here.
Got you shook.
Yeah, I know, right? The reason why I was so shook was Nick going up to somebody saying he stand on business.
Imagine Nick saying that to someone.
Yeah, he goes, I stand on business. Anyways, we're going to jump in this first segment. It was pretty cool. Nick showed me yesterday how to get the updated list of the portal.
Aha.
So this morning, I was like, it's kind of like one of those things you want to just keep refreshing every couple minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So you see a lot of guys going there, like Tamir Burton from University of Charlotte, not available, star ranking. CJ Caesar from the Raging Cajuns, he's a 3. Mikey Matthews from Utah, wide receiver, he's a 3. But one of the most interesting I don't names in here. I don't know if did you guys talk about it?
Which one? Lay it on us.
One of them, it just when I updated it today, it just came up. One of the best names. It was Mike Gundy's son jumped in there.
We didn't talk about it, but we did see it.
Yeah, it was like, whoa, Gunnar Gundy jumped into the portal, pro-style quarterback, no star ranking. There is no crystal ball, no nothing. It was pretty interesting because his dad's the coach. They had a really good year. You think that he would get a chance to play. I'm sure he knows that system in and out. But you know what? For him, I'd give Gunnar, some credit. If he really wants to play, and you got the likes of Zane Flores down there and whoever else they have
Garrett
on the
Rangel, Alan Bowman can apply for another year.
He probably like, you know what? I think I can do well, but I know I'm not going to play here. It probably takes a little bit of pressure off his dad. He's been there for a little while, and you know what? He can go off on his own. He can always come back and be a coach or something like that. So it's commendable, but it's just weird to see. That's the last name I think I would see this early. So either he was late for Sunday dinner, right? And he's like, I'm tired of it. You know what? Matter of fact, I'm tired of you in this house. He's like, all right, well, I'm just, you know what? I'm going in the portal. Or it was like, Dad, look, I want to play. And I'm sure that's a hard conversation to have. And I'm sure they've kind of had it maybe a while ago, probably tabled it, probably tiptoed around it, and then probably just got after it and had it. And that's just, you know, it all jokes aside, probably commendable that he's in there. Another one is Princewell Umanamin brother is in there. The defensive tackle from Florida, 4-star. Hopefully we can get to, man. Prince Lee and Princewell. Just imagine the NIL deals they could get. Just imagine the commercials that they could get.
Prince gets to campus next year.
Yeah. I mean, that just call it the royalty. They when they get introduced, they could be in their, you know, in their royalty, you know, outfits.
Getting Princely to campus would strike me as vaguely Darian Daniels-esque.
Yeah.
But I think he could have even more of an impact off the edge.
Yeah. And he can play defensive line too, inside too, which both of them together, they know each other. So another guy right here it's the highest guy I've seen come in here. Nyland Green, 5-star. It's out of 100 or 1.0, right? He's 0.98. That's dang near perfect. I mean, he's transferring from Georgia. I wonder if he ends up at Syracuse.
With Fran Brown?
With Fran Brown.
Okay.
Fran Brown, obviously, is one of the best recruiters in the nation. Got the head coaching job at Georgia. If he recruited him and you can one-time transfer, I could see him following because he trusts him and stuff like that, which it'd be hard for me to leave Georgia.
Right.
But if you have a special relationship with Fran Brown, that'd be it. And there's another interesting prospect. I don't know how.
Before you get to that, what do you think about Elijah Robinson as the DC up at Syracuse?
Which, you know what? I'm sure that Elijah Robinson maybe had tried to recruit Nyland Green. Now he's one of the better recruiting coordinators or recruiting position coaches or recruiting coordinators in the nation. I think it's a good get. I think it's his, first time really calling plays on his own. So he's moving up the ladder. I'm sure Fran Brown will help him, especially from a coverage standpoint. Right. I'm sure in the front seven, he's well astute in that. And I
handled A&M well after everything that went down.
And they started to play better. And that's a lot of pressure to do that, right? When you have a lame duck head coach and Bobby Petrino, who's not doing a lot of clock management as far as scoring. So I think that's a good get for him. And I think Syracuse probably opened up the checkbook a little bit for assistance to get him. And because I know that they wanted to keep him at Texas A&M as well. And he had a prior relationship with Mike Elko. So to move his family and go to unfamiliar territory in Syracuse, which it's not even a lateral move. I think it's probably a little bit of a step down. You're going from the SEC to the ACC.
One of the toughest jobs in college football.
In Syracuse. But you know what? Big risk, big reward.
I forget it. Oh, we were talking about that with Tony White, right? When he was up for that job. Like, you can't turn down that opportunity, though, to be able to call plays. Like, you might not get it again or not for a few years. So even if it is, a backwards step in terms of the job itself or the location of the university, the job is a step up.
Yeah, the title and all that stuff is really good. Another guy that went in there that actually played really well for the undefeated Florida State Seminoles is Patrick Payton, outside rusher, edge. When I watched him, I was really impressed with Verse on the other side and him. I was impressed. I was impressed with Florida State's defense in the sense of when you think of Payton, he has position versatility, right? He could play a stack linebacker, essentially, say Sam, when the Sam linebacker in the stack is going to be most likely towards the tight end, right? But he's fast enough to play will. He definitely can rush the passer against a tackle or a tight end, and obviously would feast on running backs all day. Has good explosiveness, plays a tremendous amount of effort. He's physical. So I'm not really sure what the reasons were.
Because he wants to come to Nebraska as a one-time target at least. That's not a commit.
And then his other defensive mate, Ayambeme, Tavase. I know I probably destroyed that name. He was pretty good, didn't play as much, but still, coming from a defensive tradition, he has some tread on the tires. And then the one you got Michael Overton, and then his brother LT Overton, both D linemen from Texas A&M. They're in the portal. Look, there's going to be more and more, but I think when you update the list, you start to see some interesting names and interesting situations as far as why or how or even when they go into the portal. Because I'm looking at the updated list. You got a defensive line from Illinois, they have a defensive line tradition, and you wonder why he's going in. Is it opportunity, injury, or just a change of scenery? So because you got 2 first-round picks leaving, so you can't say you're not up for it.
Right.
So there's a lot of guys in here, and will continue to grow and grow and grow, and that's what makes it. You know what? Sometimes there's so many guys in here, they can get overlooked. So you think that the more that the players are in, more players in there, like, oh, I can just sit back and wait. But you have to be a calculated aggressor when contacting players, as we see in Nebraska, going to see them, and then also trying to close them as well. It's same thing recruiting. You want to be the first. You want to have that first impression. You want to continue to recruit them. But then also you got to make sure that there's a time that you got to make a decision. That's in anything. Because these guys have been through it. Most of them been through the recruiting process. It shouldn't take you this long to decide where you want to go. Because if you got to take that long to decide, all factors are the same, right? As far as NIL and the opportunity, then you actually probably don't want to go there. And then you actually might need to move on because you don't want to be chasing a prospect and lose out on another as good or maybe and sometimes eventually better prospect.
You don't. And that's where the window for the transfer portal is just for guys to enter, not make a decision on where they're going to school by, which is important to keep in mind. But if you're the coaches, you have to put your roster together.
Right. We got business to handle.
You do. And that's where I want to get your input on this here, Jay. How much evaluation of the roster have the coaches done when they did their meetings with players? Like, is all that hay in the barn so they have a good idea of who they want to keep around, who they see on the developmental track, who they think is leaving, to give them an idea of what to go over in the transfer portal? Like, is that roster identification?
You're constantly looking at the roster. I mean, Matt Rule is here's the thing. You're never recruiting a kid and thinking like, I want him to go in the portal 6 months later. Right. Just imagine if you just got here in August or July for football. Why would you recruit Jay Foreman, put money, resources, and time and energy into him and be like, yeah, we'll just coach him through 2 days, coach him through the season.
Sorry, changed our mind.
November 20, December 4th. Yeah, we knew he was going. We wanted him to go in the portal. That's not how it works.
Yeah.
And so I think you're constantly, they have a roster management people that are probably consistently and constantly looking at their roster. And that's why I think which is good, when Matt Rule's putting the emphasis on every day you have to earn your spot. It's not just the guys that are out there on Saturday. It's the guys that on the team, because you're constantly being evaluated. It's kind of like when I remember being in the pros, and here's a funny story before we go to break, is when I was down in Houston and we'd practice sometimes when it was real hot on Fridays in our bubble, from the heat.
Yeah.
Bob McNair would come over there, Cal McNair, who's the owner now, which is his son. And then he would have a couple guys that were up there, come. And I'd see these guys. And I remember one time Joe Theismann was calling the game, and he had a golf club in there, and every time he'd swing, we'd say, shank. Well, anyways, Bob McNair had this one guy, and he'd come in, and he always came in with these white FootJoy shoes. So he just came right off the golf course.
Okay.
And he came in, and sometimes he'd wear, like a cowboy hat or a bucket hat. And we'd always joke, like, about him. Like, he just came off the golf course, but he was talking on the golf course about which one of us or all of us he was trying to replace or always evaluate, because he'd always walk around, and he was part in the he was in the up in the management department, where they make the decision. The point of the story is once we knew that, we knew we had to bring it every day in practice. I think it made me a better player. I didn't like it because you want to feel like you've earned your spot, but you got to earn your spot every day. And then they got to project where you will be, and to get a easier and better projection, or lay it out there for them, is coming to work every day, improving, and, not just showing up, going through the motions, but trying to go to practice to get better instead of just getting through practice. So I think it's a constant thing. It should be a constant thing, and I don't think this staff is trying to like flip the roster. But if they lose a guy and they got to go and try to get something as equal or sometimes better, they got to, because the last guy I'm gonna talk about in the portal that just jumped in right now is Jahir Brown, 4-star cornerback from Ohio State. The guy's going to be thought of as it will give him a chance. You come from a cornerback, a university and a defense that's known to have really good cornerbacks. You're a 4-star. You're ranked at a .91, so you're really close to being one of the top guys in there at any position. You're definitely going to be fielding some calls, and so it's going to be plentiful. So you just got to be patient and try to get in there with guys you need, and then be okay with it. Don't always try to up it, right? Because once you have a car that's reliable, ride that car till the wheels fall off. So good first segment. Jay Foreman, Austin Orman, Old School. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Old School with DP and J. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Concrete Industries, a Nebco company, has immediate job openings for precast production laborers. Concrete Industries offers great pay, health benefits, 401k, a wellness program, holidays, and paid time off. Apply today to earn a starting pay of $20 per hour and a $1,500 hiring bonus. Concrete Industries is hiring all experience levels and offers on-the-job training. Start your career today as a precast production laborer. Visit concreteindustries.com.
Problem gambling can destroy an individual's finances, relationships, physical, and mental health. If you are a loved one or struggling with addiction, contact Choices Treatment Center's 24-hour helpline at 402-476-2300. That's 402-476-2300.
Ready to make this season unforgettable? Celebrate with Liberty First Credit Union's low-rate debt consolidation loan. Combine all those bills into one affordable monthly payment with quick access to funds. Imagine all the extra cash for holiday shopping sprees, festive parties, or that well-deserved vacation. Stop by any of their branches or visit libertyfirstcu.com to find out more about their low-rate debt consolidation loan. Make this holiday season one to remember and celebrate with Liberty First Credit Union, banking with purpose.
Attention all Wings fans. 89-cent wings are back on Tuesdays at Buffalo Wings and Rings in Lincoln. Enjoy the best wings in town for boneless or traditional at a price that makes the whole family happy. And now at the Williamsburg Village Wings and Rings, you can enjoy $1.50 tall boys in Bud Light, Coors Light, Busch Light, and Michelob Ultra every day after 7 p.m. and all day on Sundays. Get to Wings and Rings today and make sure to stop by on Tuesdays for 89-cent wings.
Not many businesses can say they've made it 60 years, but Madsen's Bowling and Billiards can. With 12 bowling lanes and the biggest pool room in Nebraska, where else would you go to enjoy an afternoon or evening? There's a great daily specials like $2 Tuesdays, games of bowling, shoe rentals, draft beers, and tacos, all just $2 each. Have a delicious burger at EJ's Lounge before or after your bowling or pool session, and you'll leave satisfied. Madsen's Bowling and Billiards at 47th and Dudley.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric is the call I make when I have a need for plumbing services. Whether it's for my home or office, if I need a repair to a water heater, softener, or even my garbage disposal, I know I can count on Action to help. In one simple call, their amazing customer service team promptly schedules a service call, often getting to my needs within a day. Action delivers honest quality services we can count on. To learn more, visit actionlincoln.com.
My dream was to work in commercial banking, but it required a college degree and I didn't have one. I found out that Doane had classes for adult learners on the Lincoln campus and online. So I earned my bachelor's degree, and 5 months later, I landed my dream job. I decided to continue my education, and now I'm working on my MBA at Doane. For me, the Doane experience has been life-changing.
Great news. I just got the State Farm personal price plan on our home and auto insurance.
You told our agent about my thing for romance novels?
No, you don't have to get that personal. Our agent just helped me choose affordable options to create a personalized price just for us.
Oh, sweet. Then you won't believe the love triangle Jen is in now.
Call your local State Farm agent, Vinny Krekak, at 402-474-1173.
Prices vary by state. Options selected by customer. Availability and eligibility may vary.
It's the holiday season. Time for work parties, friend get-togethers, family gatherings, which means lots of eating. Maybe you think you've perfected your holiday meals, and maybe you have no idea where to even start. Let's fix that right now. No holiday party is complete without Führer's cheese spread. It goes well with any type of cracker, pretzels, apple, chili, vegetables, chips, and of course, it's perfect to pair with wine or beer. Holiday meals aren't complete until Führer's cheese spread is on the table. Find your own container at your nearest local grocery store today.
Hey, it's Sean Callahan, and football season is here, and there is one place that has all the games, plus great food and beer specials. Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill. Whether it's Thursday night football, college football Saturdays, NFL Sundays, or Monday night football, there's a great view of the game from any seat with different food and drink specials every night. Try the Blue Ribbon Reuben Sandwich or the Prime Rib French Dip or any of their famous chicken lips. That's Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill.
At Southeast Community College, community is our middle name. Our continuing education classes offer personal interest, traffic safety and licensing, online learning, and adult education classes across Southeast Nebraska or online in your own home. Learn pottery or floral design, take a computer course, learn Spanish, how to start writing a book, or Air Fryer 101. See the full schedule of continuing education classes online at southeast.edu/continuing. SCC, your path to possible.
Back to old school with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're back. Jay Foreman, Austin Orman, old school. Moving on to things, we want to give a shout out. Craig Bowl is he's the pioneer behind North Dakota State, and them being a national powerhouse. And then obviously went on to Wyoming. Is 65. He's retiring. He's going to coach the bowl game, and then he's going to ride off into the sunset. So you always want to give him props. Look, Frank hung him up a couple years ago, and Coach Bowl is two coaches that were here. Look, when you have the two, well, if you count Coach Osborne, and then Coach Samuel, Kevin Steele, Coach Bowl, Coach Solich, Turner Gill. You could even say Ron Brown was kind of a head coach, and he was essentially always an assistant head coach. That's why we were really good. We had a bunch of head coaches coaching position coaches.
Bunch of overqualified dudes just hanging around.
Overqualified, like it's like going in there with a double major trying to, work a drive-through somewhere. So, give them big ups that, good, had a great run. So give some, Nebraska fans. I know, the younger fans don't remember Craig Bowl, but if you do, show them some love. Anyways, on to NFL news. I think the biggest thing, I guess, eject gate, we'll call it, from the Eagles game. Greenlaw and the staffer exchanged apologies, and it's all good. They probably had to do that to make sure that they both could do their job this coming Sunday. We were talking off air or in between segments, Austin, about the AFC, right? And so when I look at it, the number one team right now, of course, Jake Sorensen. I think I've seen him wear Dolphins paraphernalia like every day.
People get on you for wearing the same stuff.
Yeah.
Jake doesn't wash his. He's wearing the same stuff.
I have multiple of these. I like this color, even though
it's your color, Jay.
Yeah, man. It's but Miami's number one. You asked me if I trust the Chiefs, and now just think about these top four teams, and tell me which team do you trust the most? The Dolphins, Baltimore Ravens, Kansas City Chiefs, Jacksonville Jaguars. Today, in the way that they've played, you got two teams at 9-3 and two teams at 8-4.
The way they've played this season leads me to Baltimore, and I don't feel great about it.
Right. It's like reluctantly.
Right. I would normally lean with Kansas City, but the lack of a wide receiver hurts Kelsey.
Yeah.
The running game with Pacheco hasn't been there to the degree they need it. Mahomes is still making the throws he's made before, but they're just not getting caught. The receivers aren't good. Miami hasn't played a single good team and beat them all year. And Jacksonville just lost Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, for at least a few weeks. Yeah.
It's almost Baltimore by attrition and default, more so than surefire lock it in.
Yeah, I would probably say this year, I would, just for whatever reason, I never trust Baltimore in the playoffs.
They haven't done it since Flacco took him to that Super Bowl.
I don't trust the Baltimore. I hate to reluctantly say this. I actually trust the Dolphins. And here's why. I know. Here's why. They have one of the best offensive lines in the league.
They do.
And they have like 4 running backs on the active roster, and they have a really good running back on the practice squad.
Yeah.
And they have Vic Fangio as a defensive coordinator. I normally would pick the Chiefs, but I think Travis Kelce looks different. He looks like he lacks focus. And look, when you're a veteran, Hall of Fame player, he's arguably might end up being as the greatest tight end of all time. They can turn it on. He hasn't had that. Okay, he's in playoff mode.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is new territory for him. Usually they're number 2. And back when, remember where there's only 6 teams, you both got to bye. And
right.
Well, now it's only 1 team gets a bye. And yeah, you might get a home game, but you'll be playing the Cleveland Browns, which, they're having quarterback issues, but that defense will give you problems.
Mm-hmm.
And they've shown ability to score some points. And so you can't have any more mishaps. The only good thing is Denver and the Chargers and the Raiders are horrible. But, I know that they need a receiver, right, to step up. And the job that Juju Smith-Schuster, or was it Juju Smith-Schuster did last year was all pro-ish, or for not all pro, but Pro Bowl-ish.
Mm-hmm.
It opened up everything. But and
he's not even a true one.
No, but he was able to perform like one, especially down the stretch. He got better down the stretch. He got paid for it. He's up in New England. Rotting away. I just think Travis Kelce is not playing up to his normal standard. That's how great he is when he's still having a stat-wise good year. I've seen way more drop passes than I've ever seen from him. I haven't seen the type of speed and explosiveness that he usually has.
Hasn't taken over a game.
You don't really see him like when he scores. He's not dancing or anything like that. He looks like he's had a really good offseason, and this is affecting him in the season. There's a lot of regret going on right there.
I think of it kind of how the Warriors always thought of Draymond Green. Now, obviously, Travis Kelce and Draymond Green are not the same player or personality, but the Warriors just said, get Draymond healthy, keep Steph fresh enough, and see what you get from Clay over 16 games.
Yeah.
The Warriors over the last decade really have morphed into that 16-game team rather than the 82-game team.
Yeah.
The difference is they still have that top-end talent. You always take your chances with Patrick Mahomes as your quarterback and a solid enough offensive line. You hope Kelce can turn it on. But where's that third piece on offense? It's not Pacheco. It's not any of the wide receivers now.
Not McKinnon, because he was kind of a matchup problem. Remember, they always run the shovel pass or get him out there on the slot. It's a slow linebacker like me. Pacheco's not dominating. They haven't had that other person really step up. And
the defense is good. It's taken a big step forward, but it still just feels like a flash in the pan.
Yeah, it feels like it's Super Bowl hangover.
Yeah.
We'll see. I mean, I still am holding out that they're able to turn it up, but time is ticking for them to start turning it up. So
they need what would they be, the 6 or the 7 to go to Baltimore and win?
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, that's what they need. So then they get right back up in the power position. You don't know. I'm telling you, you think the Baltimore Ravens could handle those Indianapolis Colts?
No one can. Jay, they're coming. I'm telling you.
Minshew is. I watched a video of him at practice. I can see why teams pick him up because he's very comfortable in who he is. He's a phenomenal backup quarterback, but then he changes when he becomes the starter. And I think he brings a certain type of energy. And I think, the defense is starting to play up to the potential.
Zaire Franklin is that dude.
Yeah.
Grover Stewart comes back off the suspended list. DeForest Buckner snubbed for Pro Bowl voting.
Right.
And Michael Pittman Jr.
Yeah. And he's that route that he ran, we used to call it a ghost route. And you kind of fake like you're going to the corner, and then you hit it kind of like a little wind in right there, and he high pointed it. That's why he got drafted so high. And so they are a young team still with an energetic head coach. Is something that you got to keep a watch on, because I think that they might cause some problems in the playoffs.
And they're playing one good quarterback down the stretch.
Right.
They get Houston at the end of the year.
Right. And then
that's it.
And they get Houston at the end of the year, which I think is Houston's going to end up beating you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it probably will happen. Yeah. Be very Indy.
But Tank Dell's out.
Tank Dell is out.
That's horrible.
CJ's still that dude, though.
Yeah. Yeah. Somebody else to step in, but still, he was Those two together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the AFC is going to be interesting. I think we saw last week 49ers and Eagles are a step ahead or two of Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to see if the Eagles can get that get back. I want to ask you this before we go to break. My man David Carr, I don't know what he do. Listen, man, I know David out there in LA. I know he's in Fresno and he goes down to LA. That's Northern California. They must got some good wacky tobacco out there. I thought it was like an AI thing, you know. Then I clicked on it. He really said Marcus Mariota is a better quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles right now, and Jalen Hurts he pretty much said he's playing like garbage. Did you see that?
No.
Yes, man. I mean,
make Houston answer for that offensive line that put him in that headspace.
Right, man. That's what it is. I feel we didn't get enough stops on defense. And he said it. I couldn't
Not
believe
enough
it.
oxygen to his brain.
Yeah, and it was going around on X today, and I just could not believe it. And I know he has maybe a soft spot for Marcus Mariota, but Marcus Mariota, to me, on that QB1, he quit last year.
Yeah. Straight up.
Yeah, and I don't think he's built for Philly.
Hurts hasn't been great, but let's not pretend like Mariota would all of a sudden hear everything wrong with Philly. My goodness.
Yeah, it was a out of left field comment. I don't know. I'm sure his reasoning was Marcus Mariota probably gives him a little bit better of a passing attack, but I'm rolling with Jalen Hurts.
Oh, all day.
I'm rolling with Jalen Hurts because I think he's shown the ability and he deserves the opportunity to play himself out of it. And you know what? Teams look, it's different being a hunter than hunted, and everybody has film on him.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's actually a compliment that teams are playing their best ball against you. Now you got to raise your level of play.
Philly has not played as well this year as it did last year. There's probably always going to be some comeback, some drop down. I don't think they're quite in Vikings territory from last year.
They're 9-2.
Right. Well, they won, so they're up to 10-2.
Yeah, 10-2.
Beat San Fran to get to 10.
No. San Fran busted that head open to the white.
That's right. So yeah, they were 10-1. They lost that one. Yeah. So I'm not too worried about Philadelphia, but I'm keeping my eye on them. Like, okay, are we going to see a good performance against a good team soon?
Yeah. Yeah. I have full confidence. I have more confidence in them than I do the Chiefs right now.
With you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Even though the defense isn't as good up the middle, but also right here before we go to break, I saw a thing last night. I almost texted you. I had to text you, Philip. If anybody knows, I love Phillip Rivers because he talks so much smack.
Mm-hmm.
I had to send Austin my favorite clip.
So
I didn't send you the other one. A little birdie out there said, and Ndamukong Suh, the House of Spears, is expected to get picked up pretty soon. Philly's the favorite.
You combine Nebraska's boy House of Spears with my boy Shaq Leonard.
Yeah.
Woo!
Oh, listen, Shaq Leonard be like, yeah. Shaq, let me tell you something. Playing behind a Ndamukong Suh, you ain't got to worry about taking on no blocks. You just got to work on your tackling.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be up on you. So, and plus Philly's getting Zach Cunningham back too, who led the league in tackles when he was at Houston. It was a big factor before he got hurt this year. So they're starting to get healthy at the right time. So anyways, good NFL segment. Jay Foreman, Austin Norman. I'm going to put Austin on the hot seat. An NFL question. I'm not going to tell you before. I'm going to see how you react.
Okay.
When we ask you right off the get-go. So we'll be right back. Jay Foreman, Austin, Old School. We'll be right back.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Constructors Inc., a Nebco company, is now hiring heavy equipment mechanics to maintain fleet equipment and vehicle operations. Constructors offers mechanics a competitive salary, 4-day work weeks with overtime options, a $5,000 hiring bonus, a tool allowance, and great benefits. Join the crew today and be a part of Nebraska's oldest paving company dating back to 1908. Apply today for their mechanic positions. Visit constructorslincoln.com. Husker fans, the Nebraska women's basketball team battles the Indiana Hoosiers on Sunday, January 7th at Pinnacle Bank Arena, and they want to see you there. Help them pack PBA as they retire Jordan Hooper's jersey, host a team reunion for the 2013 and 2014 teams, and give your Huskers a true home court advantage. For tickets, go to huskers.com/tickets or call 1-800-8-BIG-RED. Come early and get your very own replica Jordan Hooper jersey retirement banner while supplies last. Get your tickets today at huskers.com/tickets. Ironhide Construction is hiring. They're looking for hardworking, self-motivated individuals who are team players. Ironhide Construction has openings for an experienced project manager, estimator, apprentice, skilled laborer, and erector or installer. They will train the right people and make sure you understand the position and requirements. At Ironhide Construction, it's own it, be honest, and do it right. Apply today and learn more about their other benefits at ironhideconstruction.com, where they're committed to you every step of the way.
Hey, it's Sean Callahan, and football season is here, and there is one place that has all the games, plus great food and beer specials. Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill. Whether it's Thursday night football, college football Saturdays, NFL Sundays, or Monday night football, there's a great view of the game from any seat with different food and drink specials every night. Try the Blue Ribbon Reuben Sandwich or the Prime Rib French Dip or any of their famous chicken wings. That's Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill.
My dream was to work in commercial banking, but it required a college degree and I didn't have one. I found out that Doane had classes for adult learners on the Lincoln campus and online. So I earned my bachelor's degree, and 5 months later, I landed my dream job. I decided to continue my education, and now I'm working on my MBA at Doane. For me, the Doane experience has been life-changing.
We can live our lives without breaking the law, but that doesn't mean you won't be accused of committing a crime. Hi, my name is Seth Morris with Liberty Law Group. If you've been accused of a crime, your job, your family, and your freedom is at stake. At Liberty Law Group, our skilled and relentless trial attorneys pride themselves on tackling difficult cases and providing the highest quality representation for our clients. To learn more, go to libertylawnebraska.com. Again, that's libertylawnebraska.com.
Attention all Wings fans! 89-cent wings are back on Tuesdays at Buffalo Wings and Rings in Lincoln. Enjoy the best wings in town for boneless or traditional at a price that makes the whole family happy. And now at the Williamsburg Village Wings and Rings, you can enjoy $1.50 tall boys in Bud Light, Coors Light, Busch Light, and Michelob Ultra every day after 7 p.m. and all day on Sundays. Get to Wings and Rings today and make sure to stop by on Tuesdays for 89-cent wings.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
The Mill Coffee and Tea, formerly with 4 Lincoln locations, but now 5 Lincoln locations. That's 25% more locations than there used to be. Can you even imagine a world where there's only 4 Lincoln Mill locations? Feels like ages ago. We were all so young then. The Mill on 11, located right alongside the 93.7 The Ticket Studios at 1040 O Street.
Not many businesses can say they've made it 60 years, but Madsen's Bowling and Billiards can. With 12 bowling lanes and the biggest pool room in Nebraska, where else would you go to enjoy an afternoon or evening? There's a great daily specials like $2 Tuesdays, games of bowling, shoe rentals, draft beers, and tacos, all just $2 each. Have a delicious burger at EJ's Lounge before or after your bowling or pool session, and you'll leave satisfied. Madsen's Bowling and Billiards at 47th and Dudley.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
The Lincoln forecast for today, expecting mainly sunny skies, will be breezy at times, but warm. We'll see a high of around 60. Tonight, mainly clear skies expected with a low near 37. And tomorrow, more sunshine and warmth returns. We'll see an afternoon high of around 62. I'm meteorologist Kyle Klecker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Back to old school with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up? We're back. Jay Foreman, Austin Orman, old school. All right, I'm about to put Austin on the hot seat.
It's warm. I feel it.
Yeah. It's about to start. It's cold out, man, in here today.
My seat does have my car does have seat warmers.
Yeah.
Oof,
Well,
lifesaver.
it's going to be on level 4.
Mine only go up to 3.
If
Poor man car.
How much pressure is young Zach Wilson under to perform well now that he's decided that he will play?
1 to 7 scale.
1 to 7 scale.
8.
Yeah, it's
cooking.
Yeah, full butt cheek burn.
Mhm.
Yeah, he's in trouble.
Mhm. It would have been less if he would have said, "Yeah, I'm jumping right back in."
Yeah.
But now he has the pressure of having been, leaked to have been reluctant to retake the job. The pressure's there to keep the team afloat, to stay in the fringes of the playoff hunt for when Aaron Rodgers gets back. And then the pressure's on to rebuild any trade value possible.
Yeah.
He wants out of there. Yeah, learning under Aaron Rodgers is one thing, but he wants to play. He's like any NFL
he should.
player.
He should. But I don't think he wants to play.
You know?
No. Zach Wilson? No, if he wanted to
Some
play.
of those stories have been pretty good about his work ethic behind the scenes.
Well, I think he's a hard worker. I don't think he wants to play, though.
What's the difference?
He liked going to practice. He looked real comfortable on that sideline, watching somebody else play in his spot, standing next to Aaron Rodgers. So, we'll see. I wish him the best. I hope he gets a better chance outside of New York. I think you'll see a better version of Zach Wilson. Before we go to break, we're going to go over some of the texts. My man Kevin in Lincoln, he just fired up his Traeger. Big up Kevin, smart man. Unknown texters talking about Princewell and his brother, 1972, his last 4 digits. The Princes of Nebraska, I like that. BJ in Wichita, he has a question. How can Nebraska get more than a couple, 3 or 4 players from the portal when you look at the number of scholarships players have already? Oh, they can, because I'm sure they've already kind of did a roster assessment, and they'll get to 85.
They always do. They always find a way.
They always do. Where there's a will, there's a way. Unknown texter 7943 said he wants our opinion on all this paying players, and they're saying it costs $1 to $2 million for a quarterback. That means the only person getting paid more than a particular player is a head coach. He would get more money than his coordinator. That is crazy. This is not professional football. It's not. It's college football dressed up as professional football. This is professional football right now. Whether you like it, love it, or hate it, that's the way it is.
And not many players at all are making a mill.
No,
that's a very common misconception.
Yeah,
we talk about those numbers being thrown out there, and there's a couple handfuls of them, but not a lot of players are making $1 million. And at Nebraska, if you're making $1 million, you are still less than both coordinators.
Yeah. So you can at least work. Now you respect the coordinator, right? The GA probably not so much, but So anyway, no, just kidding. Mississippi Mud Dog. He's right in line with me. He said Indy ain't doing it. That means Houston is there. Mississippi Mud Dog.
He's just trying to stir stuff up.
He's
He's just beefing. So
That's
I
all
respect
right,
it.
Mississippi
Here's
Mud
the
Dog.
thing. The Colts have to earn my trust. I got to believe in him, though.
I agree with Mississippi Mud Dog. Might be the smartest texter we had all day.
He's also a Packers fan. Says the Packers are coming.
Yeah, I think they'll run out of gas though. But they just picked up Kenyon Drake. They're going to try to really get heavy into the run game. I think they figured out something with Jordan Love. I think the play action game, Watson's healthy. You saw Dobbs get busy, made that great 50-50 catch. I think if they could get Aaron Jones back somehow in the screen game, power Dillon. If you have to put in Kenyon Drake, who's played earlier in this year, he gives you a huge boost in third down protection, screen game, and return game. If they do that, they could maybe sneak up on and get somebody in the playoffs.
My favorite Kenyon Drake moment was when the Colts signed him to their practice squad, didn't play, cut him, and then he goes on and fumbles against Indianapolis. They recovered, end up winning.
Well, aren't you just a beacon of sunlight?
I am. Zach Moss season. Turn it over to him.
All right, we're going to go to break. Jay Foreman, Austin, top of the hour. We'll talk a little bit more about college football. We'll talk about the how the bowl games are affected by early departures for the NFL and transfer portal. And if I was a coach at Ohio State, what would I be doing? And what if I was at Missouri, what would I be doing? Florida State, so forth and so on. Jay Foreman, Austin, we'll be right back.
You're listening to Old School with DP and J. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
My dream was to work in commercial banking, but it required a college degree and I didn't have one. I found out that Doane had classes for adult learners on the Lincoln campus and online. So I earned my bachelor's degree, and 5 months later, I landed my dream job. I decided to continue my education, and now I'm working on my MBA at Doane. For me, the Doane experience has been life-changing.
If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
At Southeast Community College, community is our middle name. Our continuing education classes offer personal interest, traffic safety and licensing, online learning, and adult education classes across Southeast Nebraska or online in your own home. Learn pottery or floral design, take a computer course, learn Spanish, how to start writing a book, or Air Fryer 101. See the full schedule of continuing education classes online at southeast.edu/continuing. SCC, your path to possible.
Are you working in or looking to get into the electrical construction industry? The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
What a day. I could sure use an afternoon pick-me-up. Hold up. The new 93.7 The Ticket location has a milk, coffee, and tea inside? Oh yeah, this is a game changer.
Need an afternoon pick-me-up? How about a coffee or smoothie on your way to work? Stop by the Ticket Mill location on 1040 O Street to get your go-to drink or try out our new game day drinks, exclusive to the Ticket Mill location. We know it'll make your day a million times better.
Houses? They're expensive. And once you buy one, you're kind of stuck with it for a while. You need to make sure you get your best house for the best price. You need Ben Bleicher and his team of pros at Professional Realty Group. They'll take the time to figure out what's important for you in your dream home, and they have the expertise to find the hidden issues that could surprise you after the sale. That's professional knowledge, proactive service. We call that potential. Ben Bleicher and the team at Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway's home service ambassador. Find more online at prg-ne.com.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Great news. I just got the State Farm personal price plan on our home and auto insurance.
You told our agent about my thing for romance novels?
No, you don't have to get that personal. Our agent just helped me choose affordable options to create a personalized price just for us.
Oh, sweet. Then you won't believe the love triangle Jen is in now.
Call your local State Farm agent, Vinny Krekak, at 402-474-1173.
Prices vary by state. Options selected by customer. Availability and eligibility may vary.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
Concrete Industries, a Nebco company, has immediate job openings for precast production laborers. Concrete Industries offers great pay, health benefits, 401k, a wellness program, holidays, and paid time off. Apply today to earn a starting pay of $20 per hour and a $1,500 hiring bonus. Concrete Industries is hiring all experience levels and offers on-the-job training. Start your career today as a precast production laborer. Visit concreteindustries.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning now. In our new time, we're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School. Sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Broadcasting veteran Derek Pearson.
When you find something that moves that makes them smile, celebrate it. That's your task. that's your superpower.
Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman.
Rifles a pass. It was tipped. It's picked off by Foreman. He's at the 15, 10, 5. He'll score!
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up? We're back. Jay Foreman, Austin Orman, the old school. Dang, I'm tripping. The old school brought to you by the Mercado Certified Piedmontese Special Ingredients and Butcher Shop, located at 84th at Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill. Every type of meat and every type of cut. We are knee deep into recruiting season. We are knee deep into. We're moving closer. You know what's funny is, Austin, as much as everybody's talking about the transfer portal, flight tracker, updates, who's in the portal, who potentially might be in the portal, X, Y, and Z, we have not said much about the early signing period.
It's funny how big a deal that was at the time.
Yeah.
And how quickly it faded into the background.
Right. It's like the transfer portal and NIL is the new deal. And or the new hot topic. I think it'll continue to get better. And then once they make some changes to it, then that'll be the new part of NIL and transfer portal hot topic. But it's just interesting. You got, was it Carlin Jones, the former Nebraska commit? He just got an Alabama offer. So you knew that was probably a reason why.
Ohio State was the one he committed after, and now Bama's getting it.
Right. You're right. So listen, Nebraska did nothing wrong. They got in on him first. They showed him enough love or whatever. The relationship was good enough that he committed. And Ohio State and Alabama, they're just in a different place than we are. And
that's what Nebraska did wrong. It didn't win enough.
Right. But also sometimes you can chase something and then get there and it might not be what you think it is. Because I could argue it. Now, unless the Ohio State said, listen, we're going to give you 4 times NIL or something like that. I don't think that really happens, but I could argue and feel good. I could make a pretty good case that where this team is and where it possibly could go with the help of him, that he would be in a better position to get where he wants faster here than Ohio State.
That's probably fair because he's not seeing the field as a freshman at Ohio State or Alabama.
Right.
And probably not as a sophomore, maybe sparingly rotationally.
Yeah, redshirt sophomore year.
Right.
Whereas, like, if you show potential, we've shown that we'll play some young guys. You get better, you'll get more reps, and then you'll be in there and you have a great coach and Coach Knight.
Even if, like you said, NFL teams aren't looking at your freshman year film.
No, they're not.
That's still a year of reps for development for your sophomore.
Right, they're looking at your freshman year film, but just because you played as a freshman doesn't mean that you're on track to make, go to be a first round. They're looking at your last full year and then the last 4 games of the previous year, first 4 games of the present year, and the last 2 or 3 games of the present year as well.
We were talking with Brian Munson about that earlier in the week about Carlin Jones, and he described him as a Swiss Army knife. I think of a guy that Nebraska recruited. He ended up going to Clemson, Isaiah Simmons. Even Micah Parsons, who can do some different things.
Yeah.
But Parsons in the NFL has been unlocked once Dan Quinn let him specialize. Stop dropping him into coverage. Stop trying to play him inside. What's the value of versatility along the defensive line versus like just having a spot nailed down where you can just go cook?
For him to be that size that can play all 4 positions and be effective, that's why you have Alabama and Ohio State coming in. That's why you'll probably get everybody's going to potentially start offering, because you could do so many things with him. And he plays hard. He's a hard worker. He comes from a good program. He's competitive. So you got all the tools that you need, and he wants to be good. So it's a slam dunk as far as a prospect. And so, as far as Michael Parsons in the NFL, you have to make sure you specialize it. And it's kind of like with Brian Urlacher. Remember when Brian Urlacher first came out? They tried to put him at Sam linebacker, have him over the tight end, didn't work well. Put him at middle linebacker, and he became a Hall of Famer. Same thing. Find him when you have special players, don't overthink it. And wherever he ends up going, gets there. It's up to the D-line coach and the defensive coordinator and head coach. Put him in the best position to be successful, and just watch him do work.
It was funny you bring up Urlacher. Amon talked about him on the 1 hour show last night. He said whenever the Packers played the Bears, their game plan was run right at him.
Yeah.
Which sounds counterintuitive, but they said he was a good side-to-side linebacker. But the Packers
excellent.
found something on film that they could just run straight at him. They trust their line to get on top of him and not let him get off that block quick enough.
Yeah, he was phenomenal. And especially they had a great defensive line then with Tommy Harris and Adams, and then they had a ton of defensive end. Alex Brown, Mike Brown was a safety. Peanut Tillman. I mean, they were they had Justin Vasher. Corner. They had a really good defense. So, and then they had Lance Briggs, who should be a Hall of Famer as well. And actually, to be honest with you, I would take Lance Briggs before I would take Urlacher.
I said that last night on the show. Lance Briggs was really underrated.
Nothing against Urlacher. Lance Briggs was a better player. He's the one that made that defense go. He played the defense. Him and Mike Brown played the premier positions, particularly Lance Briggs. He did phenomenal. But so that when you have all those great players, you can run and hit. And so you're getting over top of everything, and his speed, once he got going, being 6'4", 250 pounds, he could hit and he could cover it in the Tampa 2. He can make plays on the ball. Plus, being a legit 6'4" with long arms, he's dynamic in pass coverage. Run blocking, I think, where he struggled at, he just didn't have the experience. He was a safety in college, so you got to think he never played linebacker until he got to the pros. And that means you have to learn to read blocking schemes, take on blocks, get off blocks, and all this other stuff.
That's footwork, that's hand position, all sorts of stuff I'm sure you could talk about.
And for being that big, he wasn't overly physical. There's that famous play when he got ran over by Jerome Bettis at the goal line. A lot of people got ran over by Jerome Bettis. So, just the ability to take on blocks and do all that stuff, it just comes from, lack of experience doing it. But I think as he got older in his career, I think he got better at it. So, look, when he's the guy that you found a way. You see it with Michael Parsons. You see it even with Lawrence Taylor. He talks about the story of Bill Parcells riding him every day, and finally he went to Bill and was like, look, man, you got to either let me do this my way or he's like, trade me. Bill Parcells let him go. And then after then, he said that Lawrence Taylor said the story. He's like, he put me down a second or third team for about 5 minutes. It was about 2 plays, and then he got back up there. So special talent, wish him all the best. But I think, like we're back to what we were saying, I think the transfer portal and everything else and the college bowls football or college football playoffs and the bowl selection really has taken over, this early signing period. You got to think I saw Matt Rule, and I think it was Matt Rule, maybe himself, was up at Daniel Kaelin's house. He was at a couple other guys that were already committed, making sure everything's good. I saw where Daniel Kaelin's going to be an early enrollee. I think that's really good for him, just to kind of get in the weight program and just get, start the maturity factor a little bit faster, plus to get in and know his teammates. Maybe not to play next year, but to get and solidify yourself as a leader, as a worker, and as a Husker. It's paramount, especially for quarterback. You want to learn this system inside out and obviously be able to put a better product than people were putting out there last year.
Is there any excuse for an incoming quarterback not to graduate early?
Well, I mean, if they don't got the grades, hey, we just got to make sure you get here, right?
Sure.
No. I mean, no, you would like it, but you know what? We've seen guys this year come in late. They end up playing. If you can play, you can play.
Sure.
I just think for a quarterback in our situation, anybody that comes in this room or comes here, right? Transfer portal, incoming freshman. I think getting here as soon as possible is the best thing for anybody. So let's say, for instance, I'm not sure on all the rules. Just say they're recruiting Jay Foreman out of the portal. I decided to commit to Nebraska. I'm trying to get here before, so you don't have to worry about the January 15th.
Right.
I want to get here and get settled. I want to be, if we're going over install first day, I want to be already on day 7. Right? Because here's the thing about quarterback, and it doesn't matter whether you're in high school, college, or pros. You need to be the first one there and the last one to leave. Not some of the time, not whenever you feel like it, not because you're being told to do so. It's because of what you have to do.
It's just part of the job description.
It is part of the job.
Not
Quarterback.
negotiable.
That's why you don't ever see a coach get up there and say, "Man, we need a new middle linebacker. We got to spend $1-2 million."
No,
unless it's Michael Parsons or Jeremiah Trotter Jr. or something, and they going to the pros. That's why, because you have to know the playbook. You have to be a coach on the field. And the reason why I say that is because When Marcus Satterfield sends in a play, you should already know after the half of the play is already read what the other half is. And then therefore you should already have your first or secondary read based on your film study and your interaction with your coach and your players. And that is only going to come from time, hard work, and dedication.
And doing that ahead of time gives you more time to look at the defense, see what they're lined up, and go through your progressions ahead of time.
All the like the foundation stuff is already there. Now you get to go play football. Now you get to go and become a thinking man game. And so Peyton Manning made it famous. A lot of other players or quarterbacks have done it. I think it's a little bit different now because everybody's judged on Peyton Manning. But then also I was listening to Cam Newton where he was saying that, you know, he's the judge of the new age quarterback, right? Being able to be dominant in the run game, being able to be physical, but then also being more than an adequate passer. But you have to have explosive receivers. And there's two ways. You can get better and get more explosive by getting better at your craft. But then also when you hook up and link up with a quarterback, a coordinator, and a play caller, that helps you play at a higher or actually a more consistent level, we're able to take our study habits, then take it onto the field. That way, I'm just not throwing it to you when you're open. I'm throwing to you on the run or throwing you open. So guess what happens after that? Run after the catch, explosive plays. All of a sudden, you start to get love and all that stuff. Next thing you know, I'm thinking Jay Foreman's getting drafted. When you look at Florida State, right? Travis was good, the quarterback, before Keon Coleman got there. Keon Coleman got there, he got more explosive. Then they had the other big-time receiver on the other side. All of a sudden, Travis becomes a Heisman candidate. Michael Penix Jr., 3 guys going to the league, right? He's a good quarterback. Same phenomenal athlete and everything that was at Indiana. Goes to Washington. There you go. Caleb Williams, when he was at Oklahoma in his first year at USC, right? He had Addison, first-round pick, multiple receivers. We can go on and on and on. And so that's why it's so paramount. But then it all starts with what you do when you get here. It's one thing to get here. You made it. Congratulations. What are you going to do with it? You know what I'm saying? What are you going to do with it? And it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be a starter or like an all-conference player or whatever it is. You got to be the best version of yourself. Are you better than you when you came in? Or were you a guy just did just enough? Because ultimately, there's a high percentage of guys that won't play any football in 4 years. That's the thing that sucks about football.
You talked about that too, which on the week to week for Nebraska, the preparation of every week and the game being the payoff. That was a common theme that you brought up week in, week out for this team is that, football's the grind and the game's are the reward. Sometimes you never see that reward, but you have to put in the work without knowing it's coming. What's your point?
If you don't put in the work, if you don't do all the things that I always talk about or anybody DP talks about, you talk about, if you don't do those, okay, there's only one guarantee. Majority of the time you're going to lose. You do those doesn't guarantee you to win. It puts you in a better position to win and win more consistently. And that's where the confidence comes from. I'm a big Larry Bird fan. And he was doing an interview, and this is when after he was done coaching. He's a little bit older because you could just tell by the YouTube video. And they were like, where'd your confidence come from? He was like, man, hours and hours of shooting the basketball. He said, I gained my confidence before I grew to 6'9". When I got to 6'9", he's like, I know nobody could stop me. Because when he was shorter, he had gained the confidence. Shoot the ball, dribble, do everything. He learned the game, learned his misses and everything. So by the time he started to get his growth spurt, he was just like, this is just playing.
It's over for the rest.
It's child's play. Yeah. Right. That's no different in football. Your confidence comes from the amount of work that you put in. And it's such a mental game, Austin. I wanted to ask you about this because I remember just telling myself things that probably weren't even realistic. I worked hard. This is gonna, if I got an extra couple reps in squats, this will lead to 20 extra tackles, or I'll be able to make the game-saving tackle. But it gave me such confidence that you never lose that because you could draw back on it and go there anytime you want, especially if you're struggling. What are your thoughts on that? And do kids these days really take it to that extent?
I'm sure some do, and the ones whose names we'll know down the road. But I think it's also different for every kid.
Sure.
Right. I think making that big play is the result of that hard work, but the light comes on at different times for different kids.
Yeah.
For some guys, it'll click in 8th grade. Some guys, maybe it's as a freshman. Some guys, it won't click till their junior, senior year.
Yeah.
Some guys get lucky. They get someone to take a flyer on them like, hey, we see your physical traits. We see your mental traits. We think you're going to go into the other. And the light finally clicks as a sophomore in college after 2 years of development. I still think there are enough kids willing to put in that work.
Right.
I just think it's drawn out of them in different ways now by coaches than it was previously.
Yeah, for sure. I still am a firm believer of, because I've seen it, and then also I've coached, obviously not college, but I've coached kids that play pretty competitive sports. I still believe you can coach kids hard, but you got to be fair, and it doesn't need to be hard every day. But you got to be able to have a line of accountability, trust, motivation, discipline, hard work, all that wrapped into one. And they got to, I'll use this word fear, but I think it's not fear in a negative way. I think fear of, like, my biggest fear was letting my teammates down. My biggest fear was letting Coach McBride down. That type of fear. Whereas, like, you're that's playing for a bigger purpose. I didn't want to be in, one of my biggest fears was walking into the training table in front of other athletes that play other sports and football players. And either, we'd have a tray of food or whatever, walking in the tray, or as I was leaving and somebody would say, man, that dude didn't give it his all. Like, he was a letdown. That's it.
That's fear as a catalyst, as a motivator, versus fear, inhibiting growth.
Yeah. So but that's a healthy fear. I didn't want to let my teammates down. I definitely didn't want to let Coach McBride down. Number one, I didn't want to get any more, like, tobacco up in my face. I'm not a big dipper, but a couple times he got hype on me. 2010
secondhand dip.
Yo, it was definitely secondhand dip. And I was like, man, that's a nice little mint.
You have a favorite flavor?
Yeah,
Coach
man.
McBride's dip.
Yeah, it was like mint. Man, that was his deal. It was like minty green or something like that. I was like, okay, Coach, I see. I like it. It was a Kodak or something like that. I was like, yeah, I'm good on it. But I think, like, when you're thinking about this transfer portal and this team, we talked about, before we went to the break, Ohio State and Ryan Day. A lot of uneasiness around the program. Guys potentially going to go into the draft. Guys have went into the portal, potentially more in the portal. And I posed the question. I'm going to pose it to you. If you're Ryan Day, and obviously the NFL season isn't over yet, and it's like, what is it called? Black Monday? Yeah. That's not even close. How would you approach this bowl game? How would you approach doing your job? Because the reality of waiting to possibly backdoor your way in again is obviously, the reality is not happening. How would you go about doing your business? Because this is a situation Ohio State's never been in, and Ryan Day's never been in. It's like the players are losing faith, the fans are losing faith. You got a new AD coming in, or potentially a new AD coming in. You got a new president. Everything's changed in that football program, and over the last 20 years.
I would hope I would approach my job the same way, right? Because you can never bank on getting an NFL job.
Right.
Like, what has Ryan Day done that guarantees him an NFL coordinator spot? His offenses have been good, like, certainly develops the talent, but he's not an NFL guy right now. He's a college guy. It's going to take someone taking that flyer on him, and it sure won't be as a head coach.
Right.
So trying to bank on getting an NFL coordinator job seems risky at best. So if I'm him, I'm putting everything in my bowl game. Show that professional approach. It didn't go how we wanted it to, but I'm sure you can speak to not every NFL season goes how you drew it up.
No, it
starting
does not.
At week 1.
No, it don't. No,
if you're Ryan Day, if you can play weeks 1 through 12 one way and then play your bowl game the same way, I think that speaks to a level of professionalism that I would think an NFL team would take note of.
Yeah.
I'm a little more worried about Ohio State than I was, like, early 2010s Alabama. They're just really starting to get it rolling. They don't get to the championship game. They lose to Utah.
Yeah.
But you knew Saban was the guy. You
Eventually,
knew they were starting to make that transition to a more, quote unquote, modern style of football.
Right.
Ohio State's there. They've just gotten their butt kicked the last few years. Alabama wasn't soul searching. They were trying to find tweaks.
Yeah.
Ohio State doesn't know what it is right now.
Yeah, that's the thing that's scary, is that administration. I mean, obviously Ted Carter's the president, but he's got to hire a new AD. Gene Smith was always the sound mind calm the murky waters or clear up the murky waters and all that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he was able to navigate Ohio State through some crazy times, whether it's
Mm-hmm.
the assistant coach under Urban Meyer, whether it's Urban Meyer, transition to Ryan Day, even before that with Luke Fickell and Jim Tressel, and all the things that you think of, and then also be there as a beacon of positivity and also growth in the game, embracing NIL, allowing Ryan Day to actually look, well, this is how much we need to raise to keep our team.
Mm-hmm.
All this stuff, right?
Went from Tad Mata to Chris Holtman with choppy waters.
Right.
There.
And it was a late fire too. Late. You remember Thad Mata got fired like almost during the summer.
Right.
Yeah. Almost he did, which it normally didn't happen. So you got to think this is a totally different Ohio State program right now.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what makes Columbus and the university go, the football team.
Right.
And then you have a coach that's 0-3, and they think it's the world is collapsing on them.
0-3 is 0-30.
And then you got a whole bunch of guys either going in the portal or declaring. This is going to have to be Ryan Day's best coaching job. He's going to have to find a way to motivate Devin Brown, to motivate whoever's there at running back and receivers and defense and everything else. This is a whole different team.
Is Hartline looking somewhere else? He hasn't been thrown around. So is he trying to take over for Day? Is he good there?
I think Brian Hartline is got to get better as a coordinator. I think Day needs to probably relinquish some of those duties and roll with it. Step in when you need to define the roles. I think the defense and the Jim Knowles has done a lot better. I think they need to work on getting more physical. I think they need to incorporate the tight end a little bit more. And I think they need to get tougher a little bit on the defense as well. And that just comes from practice habits and what you're setting as a tone. I'm a firm believer, like Nick Saban, it's easier to come in very hard and relax and relinquish some of it after you built your culture versus coming in and riding the wave and then try to crank it up. So Ryan Day is going to have to get these guys motivated, man. I don't know how he's going to do it if everybody that they say is going in the portal in the draft, it could be very hard to get them motivated, but it could be very easy. Because I know if I was a red shirt and we weren't in the national championship, or I was a player that was a rotational player, boy, I'd be hyped that I'm about to play in a bowl game against Missouri.
Doesn't count against eligibility.
Right. Oh, I'm going to be hyped.
Oh,
I'm trying to have everybody watch. I'm trying to do something. And then also I'm looking at like I could put myself in a good position going into next year. So
you know who did that? Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah.
That Rose Bowl.
Yeah.
Like what? 15 catches, 300 yards, something ridiculous. Smith and Jigba had that big game too.
Right. It just looked like they were out there playing man amongst boys. And now look at him. He's going to be a top 3 pick. So there is opportunity out there. He's just got to sell it, and he's got to practice it, and he's got to refocus this team. And you can't let the Michigan game lead to an embarrassment against Missouri, who will be motivated, especially with Drankowicz.
Yeah.
Oh, Dranky, he talking about he's standing on business. I ain't never seen a coach do.
Who's this sound more legit coming from, Nick or Eli Drinkwitz?
Since I seen Drankwitz in his interview, it's him. He definitely been in that locker room listening to some like trap music or whatever it is, because he's definitely been on it. So good segment there.
Before we go to break,
go ahead.
I want to talk to Coach Foreman here. We got a text here that I want to make sure we get in. From International Hot Dog. Jay, several summers ago, you worked with a young man. His name was Spencer. I'm his dad. I wanted to let you know that he's received his 5th offer to play college football as a long snapper. You made an impact on that young man. You taught him that it takes work to hone your craft. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, man. I appreciate that, man. Spencer, good, man. That just made my day, man. I mean, that's great, man. Listen, you just never know who's listening. You know, when you're talking to kids and you just give them a little bit of your experience. Some of them take it and run with it, and some, man, you just another old dude. You ain't no good. But Spencer was obviously a great kid. I wish him nothing but the best. He will continue to strive like he's done already. But we're going to go to break, and we're going to come back, and we're going to talk a little Nebraska hoops. They play tonight up in MPLS. Hopefully they didn't spend too much time at Manny Steakhouse and get weighed down. The old barn up there is awful bouncy, so they need to bounce on the Gophers here at 8 o'clock tonight. But we're going to dive into the Nebraska-Minnesota basketball game after this break. We'll be right back.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
The Mill Coffee and Tea, formerly with 4 Lincoln locations, but now 5 Lincoln locations. That's 25% more locations than there used to be. Can you even imagine a world where there's only 4 Lincoln Mill locations? Feels like ages ago. We were all so young then. The Mill on 11, located right alongside the 93.7 The Ticket Studios at 1040 O Street.
Constructors Inc., a Nebco company, is now hiring heavy equipment mechanics to maintain fleet equipment and vehicle operations. Constructors offers mechanics a competitive salary, 4-day work weeks with overtime options, a $5,000 hiring bonus, a tool allowance, and great benefits. Join the crew today and be a part of Nebraska's oldest paving company dating back to 1908. Apply today for their mechanic positions. Visit constructorslincoln.com.
Houses? They're expensive. And once you buy one, you're kind of stuck with it for a while. You need to make sure you get your best house for the best price. You need Ben Bleicher and his team of pros at Professional Realty Group. They'll take the time to figure out what's important for you in your dream home, and they have the expertise to find the hidden issues that could surprise you after the sale. That's professional knowledge, proactive service. We call that potential. Ben Bleicher and the team at Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway's home service ambassador. Find more online at prg-ne.com.
Attention all Wings fans! 89-cent wings are back on Tuesdays at Buffalo Wings and Rings in Lincoln. Enjoy the best wings in town for boneless or traditional at a price that makes the whole family happy. And now at the Williamsburg Village Wings and Rings, you can enjoy $1.50 tall boys in Bud Light, Coors Light, Busch Light, and Michelob Ultra every day after 7 p.m. and all day on Sundays. Get to Wings and Rings today and make sure to stop by on Tuesdays for 89-cent wings.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
The Lincoln forecast for today, expecting mainly sunny skies, be breezy at times, but warm. We'll see a high of around 60. Tonight, mainly clear skies expected with a low near 37. And tomorrow, more sunshine and warmth returns. We'll see an afternoon high of around 62. I'm meteorologist Kyle Klecker from 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
My dream was to work in commercial banking, but it required a college degree and I didn't have one. I found out that Doane had classes for adult learners on the Lincoln campus and online. So I earned my bachelor's degree, and 5 months later, I landed my dream job. I decided to continue my education, and now I'm working on my MBA at Doane. For me, the Doane experience has been life-changing.
Join Planet Fitness now and get the PF Black Card for only $24.99 a month. You'll enjoy an upgraded experience with tons of perks.
Like access to more than 2,000 locations worldwide?
Yep.
And massage chairs?
Yes.
Can I bring a friend every time?
Sure.
Can my friend be a horse?
Nay. Sorry. Get the PF Black Card and feel fit-tacular. Only $24.99 a month. Our most popular membership, the PF Black Card, is your ticket to getting all the perks. Join today. See Club for details.
Allo is turning 20 this year, and we plan to celebrate all year long. Since 2003, Allo has vowed to put customers first and deliver a drastically different experience. No matter where you live, work, or play, we believe you deserve an affordable, secure, and reliable connection. We're proud to have served our businesses and residents with seriously fast fiber optic service for 2 decades. Thank you for trusting Allo as your local internet, phone, and TV provider. Follow us on social media to know about the 20th anniversary celebrations in all our Allo communities.
There's only one place this holiday season to shop for the sports fan in your life and get cash back for slightly used sports items you don't need anymore. Play It Again Sports. Check out their selection of new and used items, including home fitness equipment like treadmills, exercise bikes, and ellipticals. And get your lift with free weights, benches, and racks to add to your home gym. And don't forget, if you have anything slightly used to trade in, they'll give you instant cash. Holiday shopping starts and ends at Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Back to old school with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're back. Jay Foreman, Austin, down here at 1040 Oak Street. We also want to give a big shout out to Austin Mercado's certified Piedmontese, but Heavenly Waffles came in, did their thing this morning. All the sponsors, Sandhills Publishing, big ups to them. All the ones, A1 Automotive. I know there's tons of them. I should have the whole list, but I want to give a shout out to all of our sponsors, man. Listen, we're able to get on the radio and talk about stuff, sports and life sometimes and do that stuff. But I think it's also without the support, not only of our viewership, but then also our sponsors, we wouldn't able to be able to do this. We certainly wouldn't be able to be down here at 1040 O Street. But I always think, not just because it's Christmas coming up, but I just think sometimes, when it pops in your brain, you just want to you show appreciation to the people that, help support and believe in you. Right. And so there's a lot of stuff coming up here in the new year. Be a lot of good things coming up, even more that's going to take it to the next level. So then we look forward to, extending and obviously growing those relationships, which is both, I think beneficial for both, right? All the banks, right, that support us. I mean, we had a great guest in, Bill Michener from the Lighthouse. I encourage it. Everybody made my donation, and we'll donate again for kids to have their experience. It's going to be next Wednesday, December 13th. We're going to try to have them in. We have a potential guest on Monday to talk a little about, a lot about NIL and all that stuff. I got to confirm. Security First Bank, they're a great support system. Citibank and all the multiple banks. I know they're missing them, right? And I know they got, was it Jake and those guys was it West Bank?
Something like that.
Something like that, yeah. I'll get them and I'll do the roll call next week, I promise. But I always want to make sure that we give enough credit to all of our sponsors, not just for our show, but all the shows. Now on to Huskers tonight against Minnesota, a game that they're probably favored in, right, Austin?
Yes, I haven't seen the latest line, but
they should win,
favored.
Right?
Yep.
But you're on the road, right? Coming off your first loss, definitely didn't play up to your potential or how you had been playing. Creighton played a really good game, right? They definitely weren't the team that lost by essentially a 20-burger to Colorado State. Mm-hmm. They were hitting. They were effective. They were efficient. They were physical. They were very well tuned in defensively. And, they went out and just brought it to Nebraska. Nebraska couldn't buy a three, couldn't hit a bucket, barely could finish around the rim. It was one of Creighton's better games this year. It was I think one of Nebraska's worst games this year. But I think it sets up for Nebraska to perform well tonight. And it's not because of the going against Minnesota. It's because of, I think this team built a culture last year that's bowled over to this year, where, they will come out and still compete. They will play better. They will look at this as a challenge. I think the only thing that's really, still in the find out mode, and I want your opinion on this, is the definition of roles, accepting those roles, and then also adding to those roles, meaning whether it's when Ramel Lloyd's healthy, he gets in there and he provides a different type of point guard look. Does Williams become that kind of Sam Griesel-esque 3/point forward that allows Casey and Lawrence to play like they usually can, where you could, spot up shooter, Casey doing his thing. And then you got my man Rick Manston in Alec in there. Was it Rick? Is it Rick what?
Rink.
Rick
Ice Rink.
Is Rink?
Rink. RIENK Mast. Like
Rink Mast. So
yeah.
You got Rink Mast and Josiah Alec in there. Let them play as a good combination, right? Stretch 4 or 5 as far as Rink, where he can, post up. He can play with his, facing the basket, can hit the open three. Then where you got Josiah, probably a better mid-range shooter, rim to rim, put back. Start to do that. I think you're going to see this team take back off. And so I think tonight's the night. What do you think?
I think that's got to be the goal. I don't think Nebraska is the 85 points per game offense it was through the first 7 games. I also don't think it's the 60 point per game offense it was against Creighton.
Right.
I think everything Nebraska struggled with against Creighton has a fix, but it speaks to what you're saying about role definition, role acceptance, and then later on role addition. It has to happen in that order. You can't add on to a role that you don't know you have.
Right.
You can't accept a role you don't know you have. You have to know what your job is, play within that team concept first, get good at it. And then once you're comfortable in that role, the team's having success, that's when you get a little bit more freedom to go outside of that role if the situation calls for it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that'll actually allow people to play more free. I think if you want an example of it, I think you saw it on Tony White in defense. I think roles were defined very early, a lot of teaching going on, and then everybody became motivated when they saw actions behind the back, or the words backed up by actions. So I think they've started to do that. That's how you get to 7-0. I think they just got outplayed, and I think if they played this Creighton team, if Nebraska started to play to their potential and played Creighton 2 weeks from now, it's a totally different game. Creighton might win, but not by 29 points. I just felt like they played a better team, well-oiled machine right now, and they played their worst game, and Creighton played one of their best games. I'm gonna be more interested to see how they bounce back from an energy standpoint, the defensive rotation standpoint. What did they learn about the nuances of it, right? Because they've shown the way that they've defended Creighton worked, right? So something might have been off. Now, it missing the attention to detail, leaving a corner three open after you give up a couple three or a couple. That's the little things you didn't adjust or adjust on the fly. It'll be really interesting to see how they take this type of mentality on the road, because you got to expect Minnesota to play their best.
You can't expect anything
right.
else.
Their back's against the wall. They have nothing to lose. They would look at it like this is a feather in the cap win for them. Their head coach is Ben, and he's a little bit under pressure because he was supposed to be help in the local recruiting. That hasn't came to fruition. Their team isn't very good. They lost one of their better players to the transfer portal. So they're ripe for the picking, but it's just like we saw Michigan State with the football team. Just because they're ripe from the picking doesn't mean that they're not going to come kicking. See, there you go. Right there. Wacky Wednesday, Austin. There goes your clip.
There it is.
See, making a comeback. Yeah, making a comeback here. They ain't had the best day all day today, but I'm gonna keep fighting to the end. But I think this is a unique time. I think Nebraska, as long as they can beat the teams that they should, keep stacking wins, and then add a couple that people never thought you would do, they could find themselves in a better position going into the Big Ten, obviously regular season, but then in the Big Ten tournament, then obviously potentially in any type of postseason action for them. So this is a got to have it team, or got to have it game, not in the sense of your back's against the wall record-wise, got to have it because we have got to continue along this process of our culture, defining roles, and playing good basketball.
You've got to prove that Sunday was the exception. It's your first road test, but you're a veteran team. Going on the road shouldn't phase you.
Right.
Even a place Nebraska hasn't played all that well, really, in the entire Big Ten era. The barn's been a struggle for Nebraska. It's a bring your own energy kind of game, which this team doesn't necessarily do.
Yeah.
It's smooth. It's steady. It's not necessarily a all juice sort of team, which is fine. But then you can't let Minnesota get a big run like Creighton did. You have to stay steady from the tip, kind of that, 4-quarter mentality, even in a 2-half sort of game. I think that's where Nebraska's strength is going to be, is stay close, rely on experience at the end. Someone step up, hit that big shot. It's a different person every night. Creighton had its 2 studs go off on Sunday. Nebraska had Casey go off, and that was it. You need that second or third scoring option every night. We've seen Nebraska get into trouble when it's just one guy taking some bad shots. And Casey's numbers went down in the second half. Sure. He was the only one cooking.
Spending a lot of energy to get your shot off because Creighton played really good defense on it. I look for Jamarcus Lawrence, C.J. Welcher to take the bull by the horns tonight by effort. And then look at Jamar. I don't know. I'm telling you this right now. I don't have any inside. I definitely don't have any inside information on this. I'm just saying, for Jamarcus Lawrence to have 1 point, if it was me, I would not have slept for the last 3 days. I'd be ready. I'd be keyed in. I'd be like Rondo going against. I was thinking Kevin Garnett was talking about Rondo, how he used to play mind games with Rondo, and when he'd play against a good point guard, they'd lie to him, and then they said pregame meal, Rondo wouldn't talk to anybody, and that's when he would go at people. So that's what I expect from those two. Expect Casey, take the pressure off of Casey, right? And then I think Gary, I think the guys that I'm going to ask you this. Here's what I expect.
Okay.
I expect Casey to continue to play well. I expect Gary to be very active coming out right from the get-go. Jamarcus Lawrence to get off. and I'm expecting C.J. Wilcher to play well as well, because I think in the role that he's been playing pretty good. I expect those 4 to be the lead dogs, then along with Williams. But then I also expect them to overwhelm Minnesota by being steady with their defensive rotations. Make Minnesota make big shots. They make it, so be it. Count on your rules, fundamentals, and the things you didn't do well to alleviate any type of like good feels that they have. Because here's what people don't understand, Austin. I really want your opinion on that. We got a runner there. He was moving pretty quick.
Booking it.
Yeah. We do need to get a fan cam sponsor out there. So it'd be a great one, because we need to have a monthly rewind of funny people on fan cam, because we see everything. I want to ask you about this. I was mentioning being steady on defense and making them make shots. I want your opinion. People don't understand this. Even though you're making shots, if you're working for it, it's not as confident. You don't have as much confidence as if you're executing at a high level like Creighton was, versus like you're working hard to make those shots. Talk about the difference, because if the people are going to listen to us, hopefully they're watching tonight, look for this difference.
Huge difference, right? Creighton was getting easy shots. It looked like they were playing, shell drill, essentially all night. Those are confident shots. They're in rhythm. So even though they're 4 or 5 feet past the 3-point line, they're in rhythm. They're working hard to not have to work hard later, right? They run off the screen that was set strongly in position. They're cutting hard at the right time in the right place. I was never the best defender. I kind of got in my own head about it, because good offense always beats good defense.
Sure.
And that's true regardless of level of basketball, but there are only so many consistent tough shot makers. Anyone can be a tough shot taker, right? Think about like 2001 Allen Iverson carrying the Sixers to the finals. Think of like Cam Thomas on the net, a guy like that right now. Those guys can take and make those tough shots, superstar kinds of shots. But if you're asking a role guy to take those shots because you're locking up on, say, Bryce Williams, Keisei Tominaga, they might make a couple. But number one, as a defense, you kind of tip your cap. Okay, we did what we wanted. We forced them into a shot we wanted them to take. Now, you don't want them to make it. You want to block it or steal it, obviously. But some nights teams get hot. Some night a dude's just having a night. He'll make some of those crazy ones that you just can't game plan for. You hope you have enough on the other end to overcome it. But as an offense, having to work for it, especially if you're, again, just use Creighton as an example. Let's say they had to work harder. That frustrates them on defense. They're not used to expending that much energy for 25, 30 seconds of the shot clock. So defense isn't optional, but they don't have to work as hard because I know they can get it back on offense. If they have to work for it on offense and then you ask them to go play defense, they're going to play a 34, 35-minute game instead of a 40-minute game.
Yeah, it's I'm telling you see a lot of this in youth basketball, especially in fourth grade when they first start to press on teams. They get a lot of easy buckets, then they start to play, it's like the front runner mentality. I'm going to really play defense hard. You'll take more gambles. You'll be more energy and stuff like that. I think if Nebraska makes or plays steady against Minnesota and makes them make tough shots, they will wilter a lot faster. The game will be closer, and then you'll just be able to, it'll be a 2-4 point game, go back and forth. Next thing you know, you win by 12 to 14. It's going to be huge. And it's this isn't a game that you show up and thinking, you got to be super nervous about. Of course, the nerves need to be there. You just need to go out there and focus on what you need to do. I think the learning experience also for some of the newer players of experience what PBA was like in a big game. That's why I'm interested to see the next one because the deer in the headlights or it's kind of like when you hear teams that have been to the Super Bowl multiple times or players versus when you get there the first time and you always see it. Remember the first kickoff in the Super Bowl and you see all the flashing lights. That's distraction. The introduction at PBA, playing against Creighton. You won last year. All this other stuff. Creighton's ranked. You got not a seat open in the house. Rock, and then you can kind of get too fixated on that, then not handle your business. Example on the football field, when we had game day here, I think a few years ago, we played Ohio State. Everybody thought we were back when because game day was here. We weren't even close.
62-3.
Right. Chase Young and company and Justin Fields said, listen, hold your horses. You ain't back. You just here for us to play a practice round to get a practice game against you. And we got taught a hard lesson in sports. The only thing that matters is how you perform. And Nebraska got taught that on Sunday, but I think they're going to be bouncing back tonight. So we're going to go take a quick break, come back, put a bow on this, turn it over to Amon Green at 6 o'clock. And then after that, I think we got DPE, and then we got the Wide World of Raf at 8 p.m. during the Husker game. But will be a great listen nevertheless. Jay Foreman, Austin Orman. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Old School with DP and J. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Concrete Industries, a Nebco company, has immediate job openings for precast production laborers. Concrete Industries offers great pay, health benefits, 401k, a wellness program, holidays, and paid time off. Apply today to earn a starting pay of $20 per hour and a $1,500 hiring bonus. Concrete Industries is hiring all experience levels and offers on-the-job training. Start your career today as a precast production laborer. Visit concreteindustries.com.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric brings exciting career opportunities for you or someone you know. They are now hiring plumbers, electricians, and HVAC techs and installers to continually build their professional team. They offer competitive pay and full benefits packages that include health, dental, vision, PTO, and 401k options. Action has created a positive team environment for over 50 years. Apply online at actionlincoln.com.
Experience the Landmark difference with the next level of dealer support. Landmark, your local John Deere dealer, continually works to have parts on hand the first time you walk in the door. Our internal route system means we can get the parts to you typically same or next day to keep you up and running. At Landmark, we understand time is money. Get more uptime with our after-hours parts and service support on the phone or in the field. Our sales, precision ag, parts, and service teams are ready to serve you this planning season. Stop by your local Landmark today to experience the Landmark difference.
You're counting on your team to win, so why not prove it? At Warhorse Sportsbook, their win is your win. Put your money where your mouth is on nearly every sporting event. Use the Warhorse app to check odds and build your bets before placing your wagers in person at Warhorse Casino in Lincoln or Horseman's Park in Omaha, including live in-game betting. No bets, no glory. Wagers may only be placed on Nebraska-based teams when played outside the state of Nebraska. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-833-BET-OVER.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 10th and P or at 1501 Center Park Road. Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now, they've raised wages again, and they're hiring for production operators at $24.62 per hour, which grows to $28.97 per hour within 3 years. Skilled trade positions now start at $33.36 per hour, with opportunities to make more based on certifications. Continental also has salary jobs available and great benefits, plus medical and prescription costs at very low premiums. Dental, vision, and life insurance are offered at no premium cost to the associates, with increased bonuses and vacation for new hires. To learn more or apply, go to continentaljobs.com with keyword Lincoln. Come work at Continental today. Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln and across Nebraska by offering a number of services. From group homes to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the support that allows people to live fulfilling lives. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a rewarding career supporting people with developmental disabilities, you can check out open positions along with learning more about services at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices.
Ready to make this season unforgettable? Celebrate with Liberty First Credit Union's low-rate debt consolidation loan. Combine all those bills into one affordable monthly payment with quick access to funds. Imagine all the extra cash for holiday shopping sprees, festive parties, or that well-deserved vacation. Stop by any of their branches or visit libertyfirstcu.com to find out more about their low-rate debt consolidation loan. Make this holiday season one to remember and celebrate with Liberty First Credit Union, banking with purpose.
The Southern Pecan Cake from Beatrice Bakery. They don't just let you call anything Southern, especially when it's baked right here in Nebraska. There are standards you have to meet, like a rich, decadent, moist caramel cake? Check. Bursting with too many large pecans to count? Check. Big enough to share with the whole group? Check. But delicious enough that you won't want to share? A big check on that one. The Southern Pecan Cake, the newest cake to the Beatrice Bakery lineup. Try it for yourself at Beatrice Bakery. Online at BeatriceBakery.com. Welcome to our world of yum.
Husker fans, the Nebraska women's basketball team battles the Indiana Hoosiers on Sunday, January 7th at Pinnacle Bank Arena, and they want to see you there. Help them pack PBA as they retire Jordan Hooper's jersey, host a team reunion for the 2013 and 2014 teams, and give your Huskers a true home court advantage. For tickets, go to huskers.com/tickets or call 1-800-8-BIG-RED. Come early and get your very own replica Jordan Hooper jersey retirement banner while supplies last. Get your tickets today at huskers.com/tickets.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
The Lincoln forecast for today, expecting mainly sunny skies, be breezy at times, but warm. We'll see a high of around 60. Tonight, mainly clear skies expected with a low near 37. And tomorrow, more sunshine and warmth returns. We'll see an afternoon high of around 62. I'm meteorologist Kyle Klecker from 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Back to old school with DP and J on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up, Jay Foreman, Austin Orman? We just see Amon Green. He on fan cam. He just pulled up on us. He's about to jump in next and spread his wisdom. Also, I wanted to ask you, how was your remote yesterday at the MMA?
It was great.
Yeah.
Great people, great time. Coach Jesse out there is fighting at Pinnacle Bank Arena on Friday.
On this Friday?
This Friday.
Oh.
2 days from now.
Oh. You want to hear something? I went to an MMA thing years ago. It was at PBA. And I'm not a big UFC MMA fan. I watch it. I mean, I'm not against it. I like boxing, you know, but I like everybody in it. Like, you know, I Rampage Jackson, all those guys. So they had, you know, the up and coming pros at PBA. Had a guy came in there from Nebraska, up Omaha area. And I don't know what weight class it was, but his entrance, he just walked right out. Didn't look like much. Looked like he was, you know, at the local bar in Wayne, you know, probably could throw hands. Got there, sitting there. He didn't have a trainer or nothing. He just walked right out like he signed up and I'm here, right?
Open tryouts.
This other dude came out like a rap video. You know, he had confetti, had somebody filming, had a kind of a mask, you know, like a uniform on, and he gets in there, and he was a bigger, like, looked physically more imposing, right? You're like kind of jacked up. So then he gets in there and he gets in the guy's face, and the guy's just sitting there. Man, they got in there and they did the little pleasantries. Next thing you know, man, the dude that looked like the dude for just in the bar knocked old boy out cold in like 90 seconds. No, it wasn't even 90 seconds. I was there with Steve Warren. It was like they did a little bit of kind of feeling out, made a wrong move, bink, knocked him down, put him into like a little.
Not even a two-piece chicken wing, just
no,
one?
Just one. Just hit him right, just stumbled him a little bit, put him in the thing. It was out, tapped out.
All heads to bed?
Yeah, yeah, man. That's the thing about this MMA. You just never know who you come up on. This is like if you have a pool of guys that say like you go to a function or a bar, like say for every, like it used to be for 100, you might have to worry about like 10 guys, right? There's 100 guys in there. Just like 10. So you could size them up, and you know you could just
have a good idea.
Maybe a couple battle scars. You know you can do something right. And he carried himself a certain way. Now, hey, listen, it went from 10 to 70. Okay,
like
that. In the 30, you could tell they were because they trying to get hammered. Everybody else, you better watch out because they will put you in some MMA mode, and you will be asleep. Or knocked out, and then if you get knocked out, they'll mess around, put you on Instagram. Then you'll
on
go
TikTok
viral.
for Jay Foreman to watch it.
Hey, man. Phillip Rivers is a classic.
Love me some Phil.
Yeah, man. And his son's a big-time recruit down in Alabama.
Oh, yeah?
So he's a freshman.
Which one? Oldest one? Middle one?
He got 50. Yeah, who knows? When you have that many kids as he does, you got to name them or number them. Come here, number 6. Name, at least number all the boys. You know, right. Yeah. So, anyways, you know, that's pretty cool that you guys went. I just saw the picture on Instagram. So we're gonna turn it over to Amon Green. I got to hit him up, man. Got the Tiger Woods game teed up. Terrell Farley is trying to get me on Call of Duty. About to slow down a little bit during the holidays. So I'm gonna pop up. See, listen, I'm gonna get on Call of Duty, get my game a little right. Talk to Rico, all that stuff. I'm gonna pop up on T Farley on Call of Duty.
Oh yeah,
yeah. So he has, I gotta do it.
Do it to him.
Anyways, appreciate you guys listening, supporting. Mon Green is next. But me and Austin, as far as old school, we'll holler at you tomorrow, Thirsty Thursday. Eric Strickland holiday. Kevin Meyer will be in. We'll holler at you.
Constructors Inc., a Nebco company, is now hiring heavy equipment mechanics to maintain fleet equipment and vehicle operations. Constructors offers mechanics a competitive salary, 4-day work weeks with overtime options, a $5,000 hiring bonus, a tool allowance, and great benefits. Join the crew today and be a part of Nebraska's oldest paving company dating back to 1908. Apply today for their mechanic positions. Visit constructorslincoln.com. Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln and across Nebraska by offering a number of services. From group homes to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the support that allows people to live fulfilling lives. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a rewarding career supporting people with developmental disabilities, you can check out open positions along with learning more about services at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices. Attention all Wings fans. 89-cent wings are back on Tuesdays at Buffalo Wings and Rings in Lincoln. Enjoy the best wings in town for boneless or traditional at a price that makes the whole